In case you didn't know, folks, Court TV is back. Beginning in May of 2019, we'll be back on the air covering the nation's biggest trials, most important cases, most compelling, dramatic moments you'll ever see on television on Court TV, May of 2019.
When he signed up for his jail time, he filled out his sheet. He filled it out for all of the Tuesdays through January up into April. He was scheduled to do, or slated to do, 15 days worth of jail time. At the farm, or, sorry, not jail time, farm time, I apologize. The problem is that somehow on the schedule, a December 15th date got thrown in there, which made it 16 days. So if you look at the actual court file, his court file shows the schedule of reporting is having 16 days. That December 15th date was not something that he had agreed to or put down on his schedule in court. So there's been a mistake with that, and of course he didn't know about it. He was never put on notice that he was supposed to be there for that December 15th date. And as a result, when he showed up on January 8th to begin doing his farm time, he was placed under arrest because the warrant had already been issued at that point. Now, we have a hearing set for tomorrow at 1 o'clock in front of Judge Ryman to clarify the rest of the issues. We just ask, and I can ensure that my client is going to be there with us so that we can resolve it. I'd ask that he be released on his own recognizance based upon this clerical error or mistake that had occurred. And I do have a copy of the schedule that he had filled out. I don't know how I can get it to you or show it to you to prove it, but
give me just a moment here. I may have it. Hold on for just a moment, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry, I was just completing the paperwork on that, this protection order.
Yes, Your Honor.
State, what's your position as to the release of the defendant? I recognize that there's a no bond warrant. He says he only failed to do 1 day. Is that your understanding?
Well, my understanding, and also it indicated, consistent with what counsel, Mr. Mims, said, that the order is 15 days. That was entered on 12/5, so December 5th. So I don't have anything that indicates it or that there was some kind of a oversight on his part. So that's why I don't have any objection to the ROR.
Awesome. But release you on your own recognizance. Don't fail to appear before the judge tomorrow. Right? That'd be bad karma.
He will be there, Your Honor.
Okay? All right.
Yes.
Sign the paper the clerk will give you. That will conclude your appearance. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Judge, for the record, Richard Canina for Ernest Gaskin. If Mr. Gaskin can come forward.
Very well.
Mr. Gaskin.
How are we proceeding? You have him point up.
Judge, Mr. Gaskin is charged with 2 counts of battery. For the record, I've been retained to represent him on these charges. We'd enter a plea of not guilty, request an arraignment date. Judge, I have discussed the matter of bond with the prosecutor, and we do have an agreement we'd ask the court to adopt.
What would that agreement be?
Your Honor, the bond in each count would be set at $1,000 cash as surety. Conditions that there would be no contact with Jalea or Timothy McDonald. He may return once to the residence to get his belongings with law enforcement. And importantly, Your Honor, he may return and reside at the residence upon the children vacating the residence. It's been my understanding, I spoke to my client's son this morning. I've been advised that they have vacated the residence. However, of course, that would have to be verified with law enforcement. So I would ask that specifically that there be a provision that he may ultimately live at the residence, and that's located at 4241 Turtle Mound, upon the victims vacating the residence.
State, are you agreeable if my setting a bond as indicated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Give me another moment, please. Ms. Kanina, I'd be agreeable to this with the conditions that the defendant not possess any firearms or ammunition, not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and obey any injunctions that have issued or that may issue. Are those terms agreeable as well?
May I have a moment?
Certainly.
No, I don't know. Yes.
Okay. Judge, she has no objection to those
Very
additional
well.
conditions.
To 1,000 on each of the counts. Cash or surety conditions: no contact with Jalea or Timothy McDonald. Don't go to any place they're residing except for a one-time opportunity to obtain their personal belongings, and then only in the presence of a law enforcement officer. Don't possess any firearms or ammunition. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Obey any injunctions that have issued or that may issue. Now, the defendant may reside at 4241 Turtle Mound Road, provided that the alleged victims are not residing there.
Thank you, Judge.
You have that? You have that, Kara?
Yes, sir, I do.
Very well. Direct that he appear for his next court date before Judge Jacobus on February 11th, as reflected in the paperwork.
So we have.
Thank you, Mr. King. Have a good day, sir.
You too.
Other private counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. It's Harley Guten for
Good afternoon, Mr. Guten.
Henry Rodriguez is present. Judge, I talked to the state. They're asking for a $1,000 cash or surety bond. We have no objection to that.
Very well. One moment, please. One moment. State, are you agreeable with my accepting that stipulation and setting the bond in accordance with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I would maintain the condition that he not have contact with Monica Rodriguez, and not go to her place of residence. As well as the other.
Yeah, no objection, Judge. Just a one-time visit with, if necessary, with law enforcement to get his stuff. But he came out half naked from the place, and she didn't understand, so she picked him up. But I've explained to her she cannot have any contact with him, and we'll get in front of the judge and get permission.
Does your client understand that even if she agrees, he's not to have
Right.
contact with her?
She came to the jail to pick him up. That's what happened. He got out at 4 in the morning. He had nothing. His parents in Texas. So anyway, we apologize. It won't happen again. He's not going to have contact with her until he gets permission from the court, even if she wants to.
Set the bond at it's 1,000, correct? Is that
Correct.
agreed?
Yes, Your Honor.
1,000 cash or surety. No contact with Monica Rodriguez, and don't go to any place she's residing except for a one-time opportunity to obtain his personal belongings, and then only in the presence of a law enforcement officer. Abide by the other conditions of pretrial release in the pending case. Appear for your next court date, sir, on January 29th for Judge Brown, as reflected in the paperwork that I direct you to your counsel to accept for you. Any other questions?
Now have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. You too, Ms. Cooten.
Thank you, sir.
Any other private counsel?
That's it, sir.
Very well. Give me a moment. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is David Silverman. I'm a county judge, and we're here today. I'm here today in the capacity of your first appearance magistrate. And we're going to be doing several things in your case. Each of you is here as a result of having been arrested for an alleged criminal offense. And when you come up to the microphone in just a little while, the court will advise you as to the nature of the charge that has been lodged against you. The court will make a determination from the sworn arrest report and whatever other submissions are appropriate for the court to consider as to whether there is probable cause for your arrest and detention on that charge. The court will address with you the issue of counsel, because being charged with a criminal offense, you have the right to an attorney to represent you, and if you desire to be represented by an attorney but cannot afford to hire counsel, after making the appropriate inquiry, the court will appoint counsel to represent you. The court will also be making a determination as to the reasonableness of your bond. In order to fulfill those functions, it may be appropriate that I speak to you, but no question I ask and nothing I say should invite you to talk about the case or the facts of your case, because anything you say at this proceeding may be used against you at the trial and at other proceedings in your case. The proceedings here are being taken down by an audio-visual recording system, and there's a representative from the state attorney's office present to take note of any such statements. You have a right to remain silent, and your declining to answer questions or make statements will not be held against you. If you elect to give up that right and make a statement or answer a question, you have the right to consult with an attorney before doing so. There's an attorney present, Mr. Kennedy, who's with the Office of the Public Defender and with whom you may consult. If the court sets a bond that you're unable to post, you have the right to place a request before your trial court judge to reduce that bond. You may do that by contacting the attorney I'll be appointing to represent you. You have a right to contact that attorney as well as your bonding agency and your family members by telephone from the jail. Now, at the conclusion of today's proceedings, whatever has happened, I ask and direct that you sign the paperwork the clerk will give you. If not permitted to sign it by the deputy, I direct that you accept that paperwork. It's not some confession or admission of guilt, but merely the minutes of the proceedings that would give you notice of your next court date and any bond conditions in your case. Now, if we do speak together today, to whatever extent that we do, it would be important for us to have a meaningful conversation. So I ask and direct that you be sworn or that you affirm to tell the truth in today's proceedings. At this time, those of you who have a case here today, would please stand at this time and raise your right hand as best you can. Each of you swear or affirm that any testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Very well, I deem that you've been sworn or so affirmed. Commencing with the take out of order list, Carlo Baldanza. What is your name, sir?
Carlo Baldanza,
Could we arrange that microphone because I could not hear?
Carlo Baldanza, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldanza, you're here as a result of charges of burglary and grand theft. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No.
Does he qualify for the appointment of counsel?
Yes, sir.
All right. Find probable cause and public defender. State's position on the bond.
5,000 for count one, 2,000 for count two.
Defense position.
No objection, Judge. These are additionals.
One moment. Very well. 5,000 cash or surety, count one, 2,000 cash or surety on the grand theft. Conditions: no contact with any alleged victim, don't go to the location of the alleged offense, appear for your next court date on February 5th as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
Okay, thank you.
2000.
That brings us to Carrie Vera. What is your name?
Carrie Vera.
Carrie Vera, there are 2 cases before the court. One more, please. State alleges in one case 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance and 1 of possession of drug paraphernalia. And in another case, there are 4 counts of introducing contraband into a detention facility. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in these matters?
No.
She qualifies.
Any argument as to probable cause from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe he's overcharged on the count with the introduction. It should only be 1 count, not 3 or 4.
Okay. What do you say, State?
Well, I would argue there should be 2. I think that there's three counts are based upon the hydromorphone, and then there's 1 count that's based upon cocaine, and I think those are 2 separate circumstances. So I would request a bond of $2,000 each on each one of those 2 counts.
I agree with that proposition. On the introduction of contraband, find probable cause as to the first 2 counts, not as to the second 2. State what's your position on the bonds?
$2,000 for each count, Your Honor.
And on the controlled substance and paraphernalia?
2,000, 2,000, and 500.
Defense position?
No objection to State's recommendation.
All right. 2,000 on each of the felony counts. The possession of control, that would be that possession of controlled substance, and the introducing contraband. 500 on the possession of drug paraphernalia. Don't possess any contraband in the Brevard County Jail, and don't possess or consume any illegal drugs. Do you understand?
Sir.
All right. Appear for your next court dates. There's on the possession of controlled substance. It's before Judge Ingram on the 5th of February, and on the introducing contraband, that's on the 7th of February before Judge Friedland. Kara, on the second 2 counts of possession, introducing contraband, I don't find probable cause, and she's released ROR as to those 2.
Yes, sir.
You have that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Very well. Sign the paper the clerk will give you. Thank you, ma'am. Raul Garcia.
Judge, Mr. Garcia intends to either hire counsel or represent himself.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, state alleges a charge of reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident, as well as possession of cannabis, more than 20 grams, the felony charge of that, and possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Can you afford to hire an attorney? First of all, it's been represented that you're desirous of representing yourself in this matter. Is that correct?
No, I have my lawyer, John Russo. He told me that I have to have you guys appoint him still because he's not labeled as a public defender anymore.
Okay, bear with me on this. Is he?
Yes, sir. He is aware, and family has spoken to him, and that was what he had told us, that you guys still have to appoint him, although he's no longer a public defender.
I don't see how I can appoint him. Give me a moment.
Yes, sir.
It's John Russo, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
intending to give him a call to see what he means, because he surely must know that I can't just appoint an attorney, I don't believe. Just ask me.
You've reached the law office of John A. Russo. I'm sorry, but no one is available to take your call at this time. Please leave your name and number, and one of our attorneys will get back to you as soon as possible. Or email john.russo@jarussolaw.com. That's JOHN.RUSSO@JARUSSOLAW.com. Thank you, and we look forward to meeting all your legal needs.
Thank you for calling. Please leave a message and your call will be returned as soon as possible.
Hello, my name is David Silverman. I'm a judge here at the Moore Justice Center, conducting initial proceedings by video from the jail. Before the court stands Raul Javier Garcia, who understands that Mr. John Russo would be undertaking to represent him in this case. I wanted to see, because he talked about my appointing Mr. Russo to represent him, and I'm not sure that, being that he's not with the Public Defender's Office, that I'm authorized to do that. So I wanted to discuss that matter with Mr. Russo, and I'll pass on this case for at least a while to have Mr. Russo return my call. The telephone number is in area code 321-617-7284. Please have my judicial assistant contact the clerk here at First Appearances to have me with a number and a time when I can call him. Thank you. All right, take a seat, sir. We'll await his response. Lonnie Hall.
To review the voicemail, press.
What is your name? Charge of violation of probation. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
He qualifies.
Appoint the public defender. Any objection, defense, to leaving it as has been endorsed on the warrant?
Go with the warrant, Judge.
Very well.
He's AMA, Your Honor.
In the no bonds. Oh, very well. Direct that he be detained pursuant to the Anti-Murder Act and without a bond at this time. If that turns out to be incorrect, sir, you can consult with your attorney and apply for a bond later on. The next court date, when would this be? This is a VOP. He's AMA.
Yes, sir. It's going to be set for a hearing March 12th at 8:30 in front of Judge Mall.
All right. So we're foregoing the arraignment and going directly to a hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Sir, accept the paperwork that the clerk will give you. Sign it if permitted by the deputy. Tyler.
It's Berg. Berg, Judge.
Berg. What is your name?
Tyler Berg.
Ms. Berg, you're charged with possession of heroin, possession of methamphetamine, 2 other counts of possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I could not hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
And I won't be considering the appointment of counsel. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Please note that the defendant has indicated that he can afford counsel. Now, if it turns out later on, Mr. Berg, that is not the case, you can apply for the appointment of counsel thereafter. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Find probable cause. State, what's your position on the bonds here?
$5,000 for each count, Your Honor.
Can you tell me a little bit about what your thinking is on this matter, Mr. Lockram?
It is. I can. Mr. Berg has apparently put himself in a circumstance where he has a number of allegations against him, including drugs, that include drugs. He has a possession of Xanax and possession of 3 counts of possession of controlled substance, possession of heroin, paraphernalia, and that was in case 2018 56477 CFA. He has a pending DUI with introduction of contraband into the correction facility. That's in case number 1858570 CFA. And he has a pending paraphernalia, drug paraphernalia, which is 1858736 MMA. I think that Mr. Berg deserves a higher bond than he's had in the past.
One moment, please. Mr. Berg.
Yes, Your Honor.
Without talking about the case, whatever, don't talk about what happened or what didn't happen, but is there anything about your background or community ties that would help you make a fair decision on the bond? For example, how long have you lived in this community and whether you have any family here?
No, Your Honor. Just personal decisions. Poor decision made.
Respectfully, I think 5,000 each of these counts is reasonable. As to the felony counts, make it 1,500 on the possession of drug paraphernalia. Don't possess or consume any illegal drugs. Don't possess any illegal drug paraphernalia. Appear for your next court date on February 5th, as reflected in the paperwork that I direct you to accept and, if permitted by the deputy, to sign. Thank you. Brings us Blake Burnett.
Your Honor, if Mr. Burnett would qualify as conflict.
Mr. Burnett.
Yes, sir.
Charged with battery by a person in a jail facility. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
Okay, appoint regional conflict counsel to represent you. Let's pass on this for the moment. Give them a call in due course. Paul DeShriver.
We're passing on him.
They're passing on him.
Judge, I
Paul
believe
DeShriver.
we need to continue him till tomorrow.
Can we continue him? He's not feeling well, sir.
He's in medical.
Continue Mr. DeShriver?
Yes.
No.
DeShriver, yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Continue
we'll
Mr. Burnett until tomorrow.
Continue Mr. DeShriver till tomorrow for first appearance. Desmond Jackson. What is your name?
Desmond Jackson, sir.
Okay, is that microphone off?
Desmond Jackson.
Check that.
No, it's
Mr.
on,
Jackson,
sir.
Okay.
Stand up here and talk.
You're here as a result of a warrant issued by a judge in Lee County. The Lee County authorities will be notified to pick you up. If they haven't done that, by this January 14th, you'll be brought back before the court so that other efforts can be made to make sure you're promptly on your way. I'm going to leave you in the no bond status, endorsing the warrant by the judge in Lee County. Direct that you sign the paperwork the clerk will generate reflecting that control date. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
James Messer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Messer intends to either hire counsel or represent himself.
Ms. Messer.
Yes, sir.
You know the nature of the charge that has been lodged against you without me outlining it here in open court?
Yes, sir. Because I'm on probation.
Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter?
No, sir.
No affidavit for
Okay.
him.
All right. Do you want me to consider the appointment of counsel to represent you?
No, sir.
No. Is it your intention to represent yourself in this case?
Sir, I done 8 years in the pen.
Just my question's really narrow. Is that what you want to do, is to represent yourself in this case?
No, sir.
Okay, you want to be represented by a lawyer, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Can you afford to hire a lawyer?
No, sir.
All right, now I direct that you fill out a financial affidavit. Answer all the questions yes, no, fill in all the blanks. Don't leave without doing that, and bring it back up and readdressing the court so that I may determine whether you qualify for the appointment of counsel.
Yes, sir.
Do that now. Furnish him a financial affidavit. Pass on Mr. Messer.
And Your Honor,
Jose Sanchez?
Your Honor, real quick, back on Mr. DeShriver, he actually posted bonds, so there's no reason to continue him until tomorrow.
Very well, then go ahead and then don't put him on tomorrow's docket, and he'll be released in due course.
Thank you.
Jose Sanchez.
Huh?
All right.
Well, you better find somebody else. Your Honor, we're going to pass on him till the end of the day because he needs an interpreter.
Very well.
I apologize.
John Turner. All right.
Yes, sir.
What is your name?
John Turner.
Throw that out.
Ms. Turner, there's two charges. Battery, it's alleged to be a domestic violence type incident, and possession of cannabis. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
One moment, please. All right, find probable cause and appoint the public defender, state's position on the bond.
That's the count 1, 2,000. That's the count 2, 500.
Defense position.
No objection.
$1,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Turner, whatever the bond is, I'm directing you not have contact with Michelle Samayo, the alleged victim in this case. Will you comply with that instruction?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll make it 1,000 cash security on the battery count, 500 on the possession of cannabis. But for the stipulation of counsel, my bond might well be higher on this matter. Conditions: no contact with Michelle Samayo. Don't go to any place she is residing except for a one-time opportunity to obtain your personal belongings, but then only in the presence of a law enforcement officer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't possess any firearms or ammunition. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Obey any injunctions that have issued or that may issue. Do you have those conditions, Kara?
Yes, sir.
Appear for your next court date on February 11th before Judge Jacobus, as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign. Shelby Sanchez.
Yes.
Your Honor, I've got a question. Mr. Blake Burnett, that's who I asked if we can pass on him until tomorrow because he's sick.
I'm sorry, I thought that was Mr. DeShriver.
Well, we're passing on him. He's been surety bonded Baker Act. Okay. But the guy before him, Mr. Blake Burnett, I believe he needs regional conflict counsel.
Yes.
And you were gonna.
I haven't addressed counsel yet because I was going to call regional conflict counsel. I expect there may be some other appointments. I would only call them one time to save time.
Okay.
But if he's not feeling well and he needs to be returned back to his
I will let you know in a few minutes, but let me talk to him.
All right, thank you.
Shelby.
Shelby Sanchez. What is your name?
Shelby Sanchez.
Right. Shelby Sanchez, you're before the court on two cases. There's a charge of possession of a controlled substance and 2 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. But there's another case upon which you had been previously released and the public defender had been appointed, in which there is an alleged violation of pretrial release in that matter. Now, can you afford to hire an attorney on the new case?
Yes. I just have to get. I have to get out.
I could not hear you.
Yes, I can. I just have to get out and keep working.
Okay, as you stand there right now, can you afford to hire a lawyer?
No.
No.
She
Did you
filled
fill out
out-
a financial affidavit?
She did, Your Honor. She qualifies.
Appoint the public defender. State's position on the bonds.
2,000 for count 1, 500 for counts 2 and 3 each.
What do you say as to the violation of conditional release? Conditional release.
$1,000, Your Honor.
1,000?
Yes.
Because it came in, I gather, at none. But
there is no
defense
schedule.
position.
There is no schedule for that, Judge.
I understand. Defense position.
Judge, I have no objection to the state's recommendation.
Give you a moment. All right. It would still be within the state's discretion, I gather, whether to seek revocation on the other case. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right, we'll make it 2,000 cash or surety on the new possession of a controlled substance charge, 500 on each of the paraphernalia charges, 1,000 on the violation of condition of release. Conditions: don't possess any illegal drug paraphernalia. Don't possess or consume any illegal drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. I caution you, Ms. Sanchez, if you do not comply with the terms of your release here, you may be detained until they get around to resolving both of these cases. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Appear for your next court dates. We're still awaiting the filing of an information on the older case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And so it's be in good contact with your attorney, find out when that might be, and appear before Judge Ingram on February 5th on the new charges as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign. Anthony Boswell. What is your name?
Anthony Braswell.
Ms. Braswell, you're here as a result of a charge of violation of probation. It purported to be an on-site violation of probation, I believe. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you on this matter?
No, sir.
I think he's already represented by the public defender, Your Honor, on this case.
That's right. The public defender is already representing him in this matter. One moment. initial appearance that was where bond was set on an on-site violation of probation on January 4th. What is he before the court here on?
This is subsequent to that. There's actually were two. There's been a previous on-site the following day on the 5th. He was initially Judge Coons had set $5,000 for the VOP. On the 4th, on the 5th, he came back and gave him ROR because it was basically the same issue. However, it's the state's position that this is in addition to that, because it indicates that he apparently on the 23rd of December indicated that there was a possession of a firearm through its social media, and then when he was released on the January 6th, he'd failed to report as required, and as far as the THC being found in his analysis is another issue, but the state is requesting no bond for this gentleman.
What's the defense position?
I'd ask the court to consider a bond of $5,000.
He was released from custody and was due to report and did not, according to this, and had been, the test was taken, I gather, on the 2nd, and came back on the 8th. No, your analysis.
I reported on the 8th.
Your sample obtained on the 8th. Yeah, that's a fair point. How do you square up with the proposition that they obtained a sample from him on the 8th, but he's alleged not to have reported? I gather he didn't report on the 7th, but he must have reported at some point on the 8th. How else would they have gotten the sample? Mr. Lockman, what's your take on that?
Give me just a second, Your Honor.
Sure. I gather his position is that he reported a day late.
Well, apparently the test was. The urinalysis, apparently he was there on the 2nd.
Sir, I reported on the 8th. When I got released from county, they said I had 72 hours, and it says it right here on this paperwork. So that's 3 days. I reported on my 2nd day. I don't see how I failed to report.
But it says, it seems a little inconsistent. It says that they say he was in possession on January 2nd, as shown by an analysis of a urine sample obtained from him on the 8th. And then it says he didn't report on the 7th. He says he reported on the 8th. Where was he arrested?
I want to say West Melbourne, initially. On this
I was
time,
arrested
I don't know.
at probation, sir.
Location of arrest, 1500 West of Galley Boulevard. I take that to be the probation office. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, on this particular set of circumstances, I agree with Mr. Kennedy's suggestion. We'll make it 5,000 cash or surety. Appear for your next court date. Mr. Baswell, as reflected in the paperwork I direct you to sign, and include this condition of his release, that he is to report and comply. He's to report within 1 working day of your release. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Within 24 hours. Within 24 hours of your release, you're to report to the probation office, and you are to continue your compliance with the terms of your probation as a condition of your bond in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
some people get the impression, Mr. Braswell, that they don't have to comply since they've been arrested for an alleged violation. You're not going to be saying that later on, are you?
No, sir.
All right. Sign the paper the clerk will give you. Thank you. James Caldwell. Hello, Mr. Caldwell.
How are you?
You're charged with, all right, you're charged with a trespass charge. Can you afford to hire a lawyer to represent you?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
Give me one moment, please. Find probable cause and appoint the public defender, state's position on the bond.
One moment, Your Honor. The state would offer credit time served, Mr. Caldwell, and no return for 6 months to the location.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Caldwell, in the event that you were to enter a plea of guilty or no contest at this proceeding, the court, you could expect the court to adjudicate you guilty. You'd be convicted of that trespass. There would be 2 days in the Brevard County Jail with 2 days credit time served, and mandatory court costs that you'd be required to pay within 6 months, as well as 6 months not returning to that Walmart. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to enter a plea of guilty or no contest, and those terms are on any terms. You have the right to a trial and the right to a lawyer to represent you. Do you understand?
Is it time served?
Yes, there'd be time served, not returning to the Walmart for 6 months, and 6 months to pay the court costs, which are somewhere in the neighborhood of $275.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Is that something? Okay. Here's what I'd like you to do, Mr. Before we finalize that, I'd have you review one of the plea forms. Can we furnish him one? Review that. If you're agreeable with that, you can sign it. Well, I'll consider your plea in just a bit. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take a seat back and read that over. That would bring us to Gerardo Dominguez. So there are 2 charges of leaving the scene of an accident and driving with a license suspended or revoked, a felony variety of that. No, I'm sorry, it's still a misdemeanor. It's just a misdemeanor. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No.
He qualifies.
Find probable cause and appoint the public defender, state's position on the bond.
$500 for each count, Your Honor.
Defense position.
No objection.
You leave the bonds as they stand. Don't drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license and appear for your next court date, sir, on February 11th as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
All right, thank you.
Michael Flannery. What is your name?
Michael Flannery.
Flannery, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance and carrying a concealed weapon. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
What a public defender, yeah.
I understand. Find probable cause and appoint the public defender. State's position on the bonds.
$2,000 for each count, Your Honor.
Defense position.
No objection to the schedule, Judge.
Leave the bonds at $2,000 each. Don't possess any firearms or ammunition. Appear for your next court date on February 5th as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
Okay.
Brings us to Ernest Gaskin, we've addressed. Dustin Hayda.
Go ahead. Go.
Gaskin, have we not addressed Mr. Gaskin?
Yes, sir. We did.
Okay. Dustin Hayda. What is your name?
Dustin Hayda.
Mr. Hayda, there are 2 cases before the court. We're alleged to have failed to appear for docket sounding in a felony case and alleged to failed to appear for calendar call and violated your community supervision in another. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in these matters?
No, sir.
I don't seem to have an affidavit for him.
He intends to represent himself or hire counsel.
Okay, sir, is that correct, that you intend to represent yourself in this matter?
The public defender is already on both cases. Katie Rollo.
No, sir. Bear with me on this. The public defender's office takes the position that they no longer represent you on an alleged failure to appear. So they are taking the position that they do not represent you in these cases. If you want to be reappointed, you have to fill out a financial affidavit.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
Would you like to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, furnish them a financial affidavit, and I'd have you answer all the questions, yes, no, fill in all the blanks. Don't leave without bringing it back up and readdressing the court on this matter. James Jackson, I think we've addressed, have we not?
No, sir, we have not.
We have not. James Jackson. Thank you. Oh, yes. Okay. Mr. Jackson, charged with retail theft from Bell's. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
Appoint the public defender and find probable cause. State's position on the bond.
$1,000, Your Honor.
Defense position.
No objection.
1,000 cash or surety. Don't go to the any Bell's store in Brevard County. Appear for your next court date on January 28th before Judge Ingram at Melbourne, as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign. Brings us to Jody Johnson.
Surety bond, Judge.
Very well. Roderick Joyner.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Joyner, you're charged with petty theft. Alleged to be a theft from Walmart. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
Is there? Very well. Would this be a conflict? Do you represent the alleged co-defendant?
No, sir.
Or Mr. Okay, very well. Appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. State's position on the bond.
$500. $500, Your Honor.
Defense position.
No objection to the schedule.
Leave the bond as it stands. Don't go to any Walmart in this county. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Appear for your next court date on February 11th before Judge Jacobus and Vieira, as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
All right.
Joseph Coons.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, Mr. Coons. You have 3 cases here before the court. There's a new case of driving while license suspended or revoked.
Yes, sir.
But there's 2 on-site violations of probation based upon that.
Yes, sir.
That new charge. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No, sir. I'm going with public defender.
He
Yes,
qualifies.
Okay. Find probable cause and appoint the public defender. State's position on the bond.
Yes, sir.
As to the new law violation, $5,000, and as to the VOP, no bond in both cases.
Yes, sir.
Defense position.
Your Honor.
Judge, I would ask for a bond of no more than $2,500 per VOP case, and on the new charge, I'd ask for a bond of no more than $1,000.
Yes, sir. I do work and take care of my kids, sir. They're actually with Grandma.
Give me a moment, please.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Give me a second. Well, He appears to have posted 7,000 fairly recently on each of the VOP cases. And I agree that the 5,000 on the new
Driving, yes.
driving license suspended road charge, 15,000 on each of the on-site violation probation charges. So you wouldn't expect the bonds to be getting less?
Oh, no, sir, no, sir. I was just hoping for 10.
All right.
Yes, sir. I could maybe work for that, yeah.
I understand that. And if you can't post that, you can place a request, your trial court judge reduce it, but I deem that to be reasonable for today. Appear for your next court dates as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
So how much is it together, sir?
It's a total of 35,000.
Okay, thank you.
Shane LaRoche,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
what is your name?
Shane LaRoche.
You're Mr. LaRoche. You have a total of 4 cases before the court here. They're all violation of probation charges. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in these matters?
No, Your Honor.
Qualifies.
Appoint the public defender. State, is there any hold on him other than any AMA or JMA hold?
There is not, Your Honor, no.
Do you agree with the amounts that are endorsed on the bonds, on the warrants?
Well, I don't, they're there. I'm not sure I agree with that.
Okay. All right. Well, sort of a live by the sword kind of approach.
Exactly.
All right. And look, it is incumbent on the court to conduct an independent review, and I do that. And these are within a range of reasonable bonds as far as I can tell. Any objection from the defense?
No, sir.
All right. On the violation of probation of the grant debt case, 2,500 cash or surety. Same on the methamphetamine case, and the same on the driving a license revoked to the habitual traffic offender case, 10,000 cash or surety on the possession of heroin, all as endorsed on the warrants. Appear for your next court dates, sir, as reflected in the paperwork I direct you to sign. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Any question?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Richard Maynard.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Maynard. You're alleged to have failed to appear for some proceedings in a misdemeanor traffic kind of case. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
Not at this time.
He qualifies.
Appoint a public defender. Any objection to leaving it at 2,000?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kennedy?
No, sir.
Okay, 2,000 cash or surety. That seems like an eminently reasonable bond. Appear for your next court date on February 20th, as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
Your Honor,
Gregory.
I would
Yes.
respectfully ask that I have an opportunity to get to the property room for evidence that supports the conflict of dates.
That's a request that you may well be able to put through your attorney. I encourage you to contact your attorney to do that.
Thank you.
Gregory
Ricardo, sir.
What's that?
Gregory Ricardo.
Ricardo.
How you doing, sir?
Hello, Mr. Ricardo. You're charged with there's 2 cases. There's a driver license suspended or revoked kind of charge, but there's also an on-site violation of probation.
Yes, sir.
In another case. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in these matters?
No, sir.
He qualifies.
One moment, please. When I find probable cause and appoint the public defender in these cases, state's position on the bonds.
The state's position on the bonds is $500 for the new law violation and no bond as far as the VOP.
In defense position.
Can I answer the judge? Yeah. Judge, I'd ask for the schedule on the new charge of $500 and $2,500 on the VOP.
Sir, I'm doing all my stuff for probation, my classes. I've been working.
All right. 500 on the new driving license suspended road charge. $15,000 on the on-site violation of probation. In the don't drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. That applies to the new charge. Appear for your next court dates, sir, as reflected in the paperwork I direct you to sign.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Damian Sierra.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sierra. You're here as a result of a charge of battery. It's alleged to be a domestic violence type incident. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
No, sir.
Qualifies.
Can I please speak to my public defender real quick? Please.
Yes. Appoint the public defender. You may.
All right, sir.
All right. This is inquire of the state. Find probable cause. State's position on the bond.
$1,000, Your Honor.
No objection.
Defense position.
No objection, Judge.
If I direct you not to have contact with Kentivis McFadden, will you comply with that instruction, sir?
Yes, sir. He'll be blocked, and I won't visit him, won't talk to him or anything.
1,000 cash or surety. Conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, Kentivis McFadden. Don't go to any place that person is residing except for a one-time opportunity to obtain your personal belongings, and then only in the presence of a law enforcement officer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't possess any firearms or ammunition. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Obey any injunctions that have issued or that may issue. Appear for your next court date on February 11th before Judge Jacobus, as reflected on the paperwork I direct you to sign.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Scott.
I'm Vinny Politan, anchor from Court TV. And yes, Court TV is back. You didn't know we were gone? Well, even if you didn't know we were gone, we're back. May of 2019, the network relaunches.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judge Christy Ruby. You are here today for first appearance. The purpose of this hearing is to inform you of the charges against you and determine whether there is probable cause for your arrest. Probable cause only means that it's more likely than not that you committed the crime in which you've been arrested. As you appear before me today, you're considered not guilty of what you've been charged with. Thus, status will remain with you through each stage of these proceedings up until changed by the State Attorney's Office if they prove the case against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. In all likelihood, you're arrested on a new charge or a warrant. Either way, you were given a bond pursuant to the bond schedule for the 5th Judicial Circuit. I will determine whether to keep that bond the same, increase it, decrease it, or whether there are any other conditions of pre-trial release which will be imposed upon you. I will also determine today whether you'd like to hire a private attorney, whether you'd like the Public Defender's Office, or whether you'd like to represent yourself. You are entitled to make a phone call to let friends, family, or your counsel know where you are. If you haven't had the opportunity to get that phone call, please let me know. I'll make sure you get that phone call today. Finally, and most importantly, you have the right to remain silent, and I encourage you to do so. These hearings are recorded, and there is an assistant state attorney in this courtroom writing down everything that you say. So anything you say about the facts of your case can and will be held against you in the prosecution of your case down the road. At this time, I'd like everyone to raise your right hand so I can place you under oath. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony before the court will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, go ahead and put your hands down. As I call your name, please come forward. Jessica Anderson. Ms. Anderson, can I have your date of birth?
8/28.
Okay, you are here today for a possession of hashish, possession of a drug without a prescription, and possession of drug paraphernalia, one count of each of those. Your total bond right now is $3,000. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want me to, well, you have regional counsel on your other case, right?
No, I don't have his phone number.
Okay, but you are appointed regional counsel?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to make sure that they're appointed on this case as well?
Sure.
Okay, I'll make sure that you have regional counsel on this case. You have that pending case, is that in front of Judge Merritt?
Yes.
Okay, and you have a court date on that on January 25th, correct?
Yes.
All right. What we're going to do here is I'm going to set your bonds at $4,000, $1,000, and $1,000 on these new charges. I'm going to recommit you on 2018 CF 1720 because there's probable cause to believe that you committed another crime while you were out on bond on that charge. So on that case number, you'll be held at that bond, and we'll see you back to court on both of your cases on January 25th at 9 a.m., okay?
Yeah.
Amanda Molden. Can I have your date of birth?
11/7/19.
All right, you are here today for possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. The bond amount is $1,000 each. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want me to appoint the public defender's office to represent you?
No.
Okay. Do you want to represent yourself or are you going to hire somebody?
No, I'm going to represent myself.
Okay. State, does she have a prior record?
Your Honor, I'm not showing any Florida convictions, but I do see a New York 2018 petty theft with no disposition.
All right. I have an address for you in Yonkers, New York. Is that where you're living?
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
2 years.
All right. What are you doing down here in Hernando? Do you have family here or what?
Yeah, family.
All right. Who do you know that lives here?
My aunt.
And where does she live?
Bayside Court.
Is that who you're visiting or?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been visiting here in Hernando County?
Like 2 weeks.
2 weeks? All right.
Yeah.
Is she the only person you know here?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a job in New York?
No, not right now.
All right. All right, I'm going to set the bond at $1,500 each, okay? And we're going to see you back to court February 1st at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Kimberly Walicki. Can I have your date of birth?
1/27/82.
You are here today for a violation of probation and driving on a suspended driver's license. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender's office. I will note that for the driving on suspended driver's license, I only find probable cause for the misdemeanor. They charged you with a felony, but I only see probable cause for a misdemeanor driving on suspended. So you might get another court date. I'm going to give you a court date on that. It's February 1st. Well, that's a misdemeanor court date, but they checked off felony. Yeah. Okay. All right, for the violation of probation, there's no bond on that, so we're going to keep that no bond, and we're going to see you back to court on February 1st on both of these cases right now, okay?
All right, thank you.
Kimberly Thompson? Date of birth?
1380.
All right, you're here today for possession of methamphetamine. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. State that you have a prior record.
Yes, Your Honor, a battery disposition guilty in 2018 out of Hernando County, providing false name to law enforcement, 2014 adjudication of guilt out of Hernando, adjudication withheld in 2010 for multiple worthless check charges out of Hernando County, a battery, 2010 disposition guilty out of Hernando County, as well as having an open case 18 CT 3992.
All right, I don't have that. 18 what?
18 CT 3992.
What is that, you know?
It's supposed to be on your docket. I don't know
So
the
is it driving on
specific.
suspended driver's license?
That's what I'm assuming, Your Honor, but I can check it on my screen in just a second.
Driving while license suspended or revoked.
Okay, when was she charged with that?
12-4.
Or is that a bond out case or notice to appear?
You have it on the label for 1-4.
All right, Ms. Thompson, I have an address to you on Elida Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
Since I was 12.
Do you have a job?
No.
All right, we're going to keep the bond on the possession of methamphetamine at $5,000. With regard to your open case, 2018 CT 3992, there's probable cause to believe that you committed another crime while you're out on bond on that case. So I'm going to recommit you on that case, and you'll be held without bond until you appear back in front of me in court, okay? For this new case, you're set for February 1st at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you.
Okay.
Pablo Banana. Can I have your date of birth?
August 7, 1997.
You're here today for possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia. The bond amount is $1,000 each. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office?
Yes, please.
I'll find the public defender's office. State to see the prior record.
I'm just showing a petty theft in 2018 out of New York.
Okay.
With no disposition, Your Honor.
All right. I have an address out of Bronx, New York for you. Is that where you live?
Yes.
All right. How long have you been here in Hernando?
2 weeks.
Okay. So you're here with that other chick?
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
my
came
girl.
down here together?
Yeah, that's my girl.
You have any family here? Anyone other than her aunt?
No, it's her. It's her. Her name.
So that's the address you'll be staying at if you bond out?
Yeah, 9503.
All right, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000 each. We'll see you back to court February 1st at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you.
Mark Elliott. Have your date of birth? All right, you're here today for a domestic battery case, false imprisonment, and resisting officer without violence. I found probable cause for your arrest on each of you. Do you want the public defender's office?
Yes, please.
By the public defender's office in both of your cases. And say, I just wanted to let y'all know that the warrant has the victim's name as Alexander, but the PC affidavit is Alexandra. So. All right, do you have a prior record?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing that he does have an open case 18 CF 2580, and his history, he has a driving license suspended 2017, adjudication of guilt out of Osceola County. a disposition guilty in 2004 for resisting arrest, disposition guilty of battery in 2004, as well as petty theft out of Hillsborough, disposition guilty for possession of a suspended driver's license, petty theft 2004, disposition guilty out of Tampa, petty theft 2002, disposition guilty Hernando County Jail for most of these petty thefts, tampering with evidence 2002, disposition guilty, forgery of a prescription 2002, disposition guilty, petty theft 2001, adjudication withheld, and then some older grant thefts from the 90s.
All right, so I'm just looking up the information about his pending charge because I didn't have that information either. So that's 2018 CF 2580. It looks like a grant theft auto in front of Judge Toner. And it looks like he bonded out on that on December 21st. And then the PC affidavit in this case has a date of January 1st. Okay, Mr. Elliott, I have an address here in Knoll Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
Over 30 years.
Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an electrician.
Okay. All right, well, there's probable cause to believe that you committed another crime while you're out on bond. It looks like you were out on bond on the Grand Theft Motor Vehicle on case number 2018 CF 2580. And then the allegations that you committed another crime on January 1st. Because of that, I'm going to Osceola on the 2018 CF 2580. You're going to be held without bond on that case. And the bond amount that you posted, $2,000, is going to be forfeited. You're entitled to bond on these new charges. I'm going to set the bond at $5,000 each. And should we put it all together right in front of this time? So that court date is set for January 16th at 8:30 in the morning. So that's where we're going to set this new case, okay? All right, someone from the PD's office will be out to see you soon. Oh, no, the resisting charge is going to be February 1st at 9 a.m. That's also a $5,000 bond. Brandon Holland. Can I have your date of birth?
4/5/2000.
You're here today for a domestic battery charge. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
No, no.
You're gonna... Who do you have?
James Brown.
Says he has an attorney. Does that mean he has a pending case too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't have any of this information, so I guess we didn't have time to do the research on that case today. Go ahead, give me the case number.
The case number for it is 18 CF 1386, date of offense February 8th, 2000. Oh, no, that's the next court date. It's February 8th, 2019. But the case number is 18 CF 1386. And the charges are racketeering, home invasion, robbery while armed.
Do you have when he bonded out?
When he bonded out,
All right, you have Mr. Brown representing you on your other charges?
Yes.
All right.
he was released on November 1st, 2018.
Okay. All right, so you're out on bond on those cases, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, you're out on bond. There's allegations that you committed another crime, probable cause to believe that you committed another crime while you're out on bond. So I'm going to RCO you on the 2018 CF 1386. You'll be held without bond on that case. You're entitled to bond on this new case. I'm going to give you a $5,000 bond. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Jonathan Holland. And
That's my father.
I understand. I know exactly who it is. I'm telling you, have no contact with your father. That's the victim of your crime. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any contact with him whatsoever, you'll be in violation of my order, and you'll be charged with another crime. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Currently have a court date on, you said February 8th.
So how does my bond situation work?
You're not getting out of jail. I'm revoking your bond on the case that you have pending, 2018 CF 1386, the one you have Jimmy Brown for. Your bond is being revoked on that because you committed another crime while you're out on bond. So we're going to hold you in custody until you resolve your cases, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that case is set for February 8th.
February 8th, 2019. Yes, Your Honor, with merit.
Okay. We're going to set all of your cases on the same day on February 8th, 2019, okay? Jared Justel. Date of birth?
2/22/1989.
You're here today for a violation of probation. It's based on a warrant signed by Judge Toner on November 27th. So there's probable cause for your arrest. Once you held no bond on that until you get back in front of him, so you're going to be held no bond. We'll see you back to court February 1st at 8:30 in the morning.
Your Honor, could we just ask for a clarification of how to spell his last name?
Sure. Mr. Justel, how do you spell your last name?
JASZTAL.
Okay, thanks. Eric Buchanan? Have your date of birth?
10/21/66.
All right, we've got quite a few things going on here today, so if you can be patient with me. The first thing I have is a petty theft, criminal use of personal identification, 2 counts of fraudulent use of credit card, and forgery. That's the first case I have. For some reason, they put on here that you're not entitled to bond on that case, on the warrant, because you had pending charges at that time. That's not really a legal basis, so I don't agree with that, but I did find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office?
No, I hired a private attorney.
Who do you have?
Curtis Ryder.
Okay, I'll indicate that you have a private attorney and that you do not want the public defender's office at this time. It looks like that you were arrested in July of 2016, and you were charged with some misdemeanor cases, a petty theft and resisting a merchant, and it looks like you bonded out on those on August 2nd, 2016, but then failed to appear in court after that. And then while you were out on bond, there's probable cause to believe that in September of 2016, you committed these charges that I just went over with you: the petty theft, the fraudulent use of credit cards, forgery, and criminal use of personal identification. So you wouldn't be entitled to bond on the misdemeanor cases, but you are entitled to bond on the new cases. So I'm going to set a bond on these. I don't have an address for you, though. Are you local?
No,
Okay, where are you living?
Michigan.
Okay. Do you have any family here in Hernando?
No.
Okay. Were you arrested in Michigan and brought down here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set the bond at $10,000 each on those. let's go over your failure to appears. The first one I have is from Judge Hisman. It's a driving on suspended driver's license. The state doesn't want to make an offer on any of these misdemeanors, do you?
Pardon me?
Hold on 1 second. I can knock them all out now if you want to.
90 days.
Okay. You have, it looks like 3 misdemeanors here, a driving on suspended driver's license, 2 driving on suspended driver's licenses, and a petty theft and a resisting a merchant. So you have those 4 charges. They're all misdemeanor charges. If you want to knock all those out now, they'll give you 90 days in the Hernando County Jail, and you'll just have the felony that you need to take care of. Do you want to take care of the misdemeanor cases now?
Sure.
Okay. Do you understand that by taking a plea today that you're giving up your right to go to trial?
Yep.
Giving up your right to confront witnesses against you, call witnesses on your own behalf, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove the case against you. You want to give up those rights in order to take care of this case today?
I wonder if I should talk to my lawyer first.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Because there's probable cause to believe that you committed those new crimes while you were out on bond, and these crimes are going to be held no bond on these. So we're going to see you back to court on these on February 1st, okay, on each of these misdemeanors.
Yep.
All right. Randall Mullins?
Did we get a felony?
His felony case, did I not give him a court date for that? The felony case was February 1st. Are you Mr. Mullins?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I have your date of birth?
1463.
All right, you are here today for a failure to appear on 2 felony cases in front of Judge Merritt, possession of controlled substance and possession of paraphernalia. Actually, that's a misdemeanor, but he has a bond for you of $7,500 and $2,500. Do you currently have the public defender's office representing you on those?
I did. I don't know if I still have it.
Okay, do you want to still have them?
Yes, please.
I'll point them on those cases. We'll keep the bonds at $7,500 and $2,500. We'll see you back to court on February 1st, okay? Julio Reyes?
Yes, ma'am.
Date of birth, please?
3/30/82.
You were here for 2 counts of aggravated battery and 1 count of violating an injunction for domestic violence. I found probable cause for all 3 of those. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes, please.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. State.
Sorry, Your Honor. Violation of injunction 2017 adjudication of guilt where county time was spent 45 days. Disposition guilty for a battery in 2011, 72 days in the Hernando County Jail. Disposition guilty for an aggravated battery in Hernando County in 2011. Disposition guilty for a violation of domestic violence injunction in 2010. Disposition guilty for a violation of injunction in 2008 out of Pasco County. Disposition guilty for an aggravated battery with great bodily harm in Hernando County in 2007, where 241 days were spent in Hernando County Jail. Disposition guilty for disorderly conduct in 2007, and that's what I'm showing, Your Honor.
Have an address here on Glen Ivy Terrace in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That's where I was staying.
That's where you're staying but not living?
No, that's where I was staying. I'm going to apply it for the lottery.
Okay. Is that where the victims live?
Yes. I don't get no contact with the victim.
Okay. Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I work for Calvin Foods, load and unload charts for Publix.
Okay. set your bond at $50,000 each.
How much?
$50,000 each, that's $150,000. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Tara Knox or Brian Gray. Don't have any contact with either one of them whatsoever. If you do, you can be charged with another crime and held without bond. I'm going to hold you until 4 o'clock today in case either one of them want to file an injunction against you. I'm also going to order that if you are able to make bond, then GPS monitors can be placed on your person so you don't have any contact with the victims in this case. I'm going to see you back to court on February 1st at 9 o'clock and 4. Have a GPS order. Brian moves. Date of birth?
12/1/1998.
You're here today for a violation of probation. Looks like you were on probation for defrauding a pawnbroker, dealing in stolen property, and also for grand theft, or 2 counts of dealing in stolen property. So there's actually 4 counts of violation of probation here. There's probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. There's no bond on that until you get back in front of a judge. We're going to keep you held no bond. We'll see you back on, looks like he's got a pending case set for January 22nd. So I'll see you back January 22nd at 1:15 in front of Judge Merritt, okay? All right. Jose Rosa? Every day birth?
January 2nd, 1969.
You're here today for a domestic battery. I found probable cause for your arrest. That's the public defender's office to represent you.
No, I'm getting a lawyer.
Who do you have? Who are you going to get?
It's Chanela.
Okay. I'm not even going to try to spell that. All right, state and civil crime record.
Your Honor, I'm only showing drops charges on a Hillsborough for domestic battery by strangulation, aggravated battery on a pregnant female, and child abuse.
I'm going to address you on Bay Shore Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
I just purchased a home there 7 months ago.
7 weeks ago? All right. Where did you live before that?
I used to live in Clearwater.
All right. Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a supervisor, main supervisor in community property.
I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Zamora Zehez Figueroa. I'm going to hold you until 4 o'clock today in case she needs to file an injunction against you. If she does file that injunction against you, you want to read it very carefully. You'll be very specific as to how many feet you need to stay away from her home or vehicle or anywhere else where she may frequent. So I'm going to see you back in court on February 1st at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
William Yerke. Date of birth?
01/16/93.
You're here today for a violation of probation out of Polk County. They want you held no bond until they can get you over there. We're going to keep you held no bond. They're probably going to come get you within the next 5 days. When you get over there, you can ask for a lawyer and you can ask for a court date. If for some reason they don't come get you within the next 5 days, the folks at the jail will bring you back in front of me and we'll figure out what the holdup is, okay? All right.
Thank you.
Nicholas Conjaliera. Have your date of birth?
2/21/1981.
Right. You're here today for a writ of bodily attachment indicating that you have not paid your child support. In fact, indicating that you are over $25,000 in arrears on your child support, and you are supposed to be making payments on that. They have a $500 purge in order to get out of jail. So what's going on with you? Are you working?
I am working. I just recently was relocated from Spring Hill. I don't live there anymore, so I wasn't aware that child support was imposed. My ex was telling me that she wasn't imposing it upon me.
Well,
but I am working right now.
Okay, you were at a court hearing back in April in front of child support hearing officer? Right?
I wasn't notified about court hearing at all in April.
You didn't go to a hearing last year in front of a child support hearing officer?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, well, at that hearing, that you received proper notice of, a petition for contempt and a notice of hearing was sent to you, And at that hearing, there was a determination that you had the ability to pay, that you were employed or about to be employed at the time. You're working for a lawn service company?
I am right now. I'm working for a tree and lawn service company. Does it say where this was? Because I really don't recall this.
Okay. Well, the hearing would have been in Hernando County. When did you move?
I moved about 2 years ago. Currently living in Claremont. That's where I work.
Were you in custody in the Hernando County Jail last April?
Last year, no ma'am.
Okay.
I was not.
Okay, so how long have you been working at the lawn service place?
I've been there for 6 months now.
Okay, and you didn't pay because the mother of your children said you didn't have to?
My ex and I had arrangements that once I became a bit more established, because she isn't a registered nurse, so she's financially stable. So we had good grounds and an understanding that once I became more established with my own place and stuff, that we would come to an agreement on a certain fashion of payment.
Okay, well, the Department of Revenue and Child Support Services is not party to that agreement that you made. So they're asking for a purge for you to get out of jail. Since you've been working for 6 months now, I imagine that you can come up with that $500, right?
I don't currently have any cash on me. I was arrested. I was working in Orlando, but I'm living in Claremont. So my cash that I have is in the form of a paycheck that I haven't been paid yet, but I have no way to get a hold of anybody to get it. So in order to pay, I have to be released. I don't know how else I'd be able to get the money. But I can make some of the payment. I don't know if I can make the whole $700 or $669.
What can you come up with?
I could come up with at least half of it if I have access to the cash.
Okay, so you can come up with
at least
350.
300. I could come up with I could come up with 300. I maybe can do 350 if my
So you're
boss
gonna, that's fine. I'll do $300 or 10 days jail. Okay?
So do I have to pay the money and then I get 10 days jail, or do I have to serve the 10 days and then I get out and pay?
If you pay you got the keys to the jail right now. Those keys cost you $300. If you come up with $300, you can get out of jail.
So if I can't,
And if you can't, then you do the 10 days.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. We have a change of plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Joel Lewis?
Joel Lewis, 18 mm
He's been sleeping against the wall this whole time?
3398. He's resolved his felony. It's a second offense, it's a petty theft.
All right. Mr. Lewis, thanks for holding up that wall throughout this whole hearing. I don't know what would have happened without you holding up that wall.
And I believe that was filed as an M2. He has 78, but if it's an M2, which is 260 time served, we'd ask to waive coin.
Okay, you ready to resolve your case today? All right, let's take care of it now and then you can get back to your wall. Do you understand that by taking care of this case today, you're giving up your right to go to trial? Giving up the right to confront witnesses against you, call witnesses on your own behalf, giving up the right to have the state prove the case against you. Do you want to give up those rights in order to take care of this case today? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With regard to case number 2018 MM 3398. Did you say that was a petty theft?
That's my understanding. It's a petty theft, Judge.
Okay.
And
How do you plead? You plead no contest?
Yes, I plead no contest.
Okay, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find this freely and voluntarily entered. Adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 260 days in the Hernando County Jail. You will have a fine. I'm sorry, 60 days. What did I say? 260? Getting ahead of myself. 60 days in the Hernando County Jail. I'll give you credit for the 60 days that you have in. You will have fines and court costs of $670. And was there any restitution?
Yes, Your Honor, there's $14 to Walmart.
Okay, so $14 restitution to Walmart will also be assessed against you, as well as the public defender fee, okay? That should clear up this case. Thank you.
Hey, folks, if you love drama inside the courtroom, get ready for May of 2019. Court TV is back. We'll be on the air with gavel-to-gavel live trial coverage of the biggest cases in the nation.
This is Judge Starr. We're all here for initial appearances today. Is everybody ready? And can we announce our names for the record, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Allison Noakes from the Public Defender's Office from Osceola County.
All right, awesome.
Amy Testa on behalf of the state.
Thank you.
Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter.
Hi, good morning. You made it.
Yes.
All right, let's get started. We have Jose Nunez. Mr. Nunez. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he needs an interpreter.
Oh, that's good. We have one. All right, Mr. Nunez, good morning.
Buenos días, señor Núñez.
All right, you're here on a charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Usted está aquí por la acusación de haber operado un vehículo motorizado sin una licencia válida de manejar.
And also possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Y también por tenencia de marihuana y tenencia de accesorios para el uso de drogas.
For these two cases with these three charges, I find probable cause.
Para estos tres casos, yo hallo que hay causa fundada.
Your bonds are as follows.
Y las fianzas son a como sigue.
The no valid driver's license bond is $500.
La fianza en el caso de manejar sin una licencia válida es de $500.
Your bond for the possession of marijuana is $500.
La fianza por el caso de tenencia de marihuana es de $500.
And the bond for the drug paraphernalia is $500.
Y también la fianza por tener accesorios para el uso de drogas, $500.
This concludes your hearing this morning. Good luck to you, sir.
Eso concluye su audiencia en esta mañana, señor. Buena suerte.
Jeremy Allen? Oh, I'm appointing the public defender on every case I address this morning unless I say otherwise. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jeremy Allen?
Your Honor, on Mr. Allen, I have information that he qualifies for direct PTR.
Is that right? Yes? Oh, over there, yeah. Okay, thanks. Oh, there it is. All right, pretrial release. I'll order pretrial release in Mr. Allen's case. I do find, Mr. Allen, do you speak English?
Yes.
Okay. I reviewed your affidavit, find probable cause, and ordering pretrial release in your case. Good luck to you, sir. This concludes your hearing this morning. Please have a seat. Thank you. Next case, Lucian Batson. Good morning, Mr. Batson. How are you?
Good morning.
All right, looks like you're here on a few things. You have 2 probation violation cases and a 3 new law offenses: possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, carrying a concealed firearm, and possession of marijuana, misdemeanor charge. I reviewed the affidavit, find probable cause, set your bonds in your new cases as follows. The possession of firearm by a convicted felon is $4,000. The carrying a concealed firearm is $1,000. The possession of marijuana, $250. And on your other 2 probation violation cases, you're being held no bond. This concludes your hearing this morning. Please have a seat, sir. Good luck to you. Rhett Brown.
Your Honor, on Mr. Brown, I have information that he also qualifies for direct PTR, and Mr. Brown is asking for contact with the alleged victim in this case, who is his stepfather, and asked the court to consider no hostile contact.
Is anybody here on behalf of the victim in the case, or is the victim present? I see nobody, so the request is denied at this time, but he can always... Oh, is the gentleman in the back?
The victim is also present.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
I thought they were brothers. I must have read it wrong. Okay.
It's a stepfather.
Got it. All right, so I'll amend it. Is that what you want, sir? You want to have contact with
Yes,
your...
ma'am.
Okay, you want contact with your, I'm asking stepdad. Raise your hand if you want no hostile contact. So you can have contact, you just can't be hostile. Is that what you want?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'll grant the request, no hostile contact. Let me just amend this. No hostile contact. I review the affidavit, find probable cause. I'm setting your bond at $3,000. This concludes your case this morning. Oh, you said he qualifies for pretrial release.
Qualifies for a direct PTR. Yes,
All right,
Your
never
Honor.
mind. Pretrial release, no hostile contact. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, can we do stepdad? You want to do stepdad next?
Yes, that's fine, Your Honor.
All right.
Can you just stand up? Thank you.
I got to find him in here, though. What's his name?
Your Honor, he also qualifies for direct PTR, and
What's
as he's
his name?
indicated, he also wants Mr. Michael Martinez.
All right, Mr. Martinez, I reviewed the affidavit, find probable cause, order pretrial release in your case, no hostile contact in your case as well. There you are, Michael.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, that's his. Gina DeVito.
Your Honor, on Gina DeVito, she is hearing impaired and does not read sign language. She's also sick, so she's unable to be present today. Can we reset the hearing for tomorrow? The way she communicates is by reading of lips, so I assume that she'll be able to do that tomorrow when she's better.
Yeah. You want to, can we reset her for Tuesday? Would you agree to have her reset for Tuesday? So she could read the judge's lips
Okay.
in Osceola? Okay, so let's reset it for Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thanks so much. Surely the best. All right, and we have Rebecca Douglas. All right, is that you, Miss Douglas? Good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Douglas, you were picked up on an active warrant, felony warrant, and you're being held no bond at this time. This concludes your hearing this morning. Please have a seat. Good luck to you, ma'am. Raymond Foy. Mr. Foy, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Your Honor?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for asking. It looks like you are picked up on a violation of probation, active warrant from Osceola. There's no bond in your case. This concludes your hearing this morning. Good luck to you, sir. Please have a seat. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Glenn Gifford.
Your Honor, on Mr. Gifford, I have some information that he has no priors, and he also qualifies for direct PTR.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gifford, good morning. How are you?
I've been better.
I bet. All right, I reviewed your affidavit, find probable cause for your charge of grand theft and order pretrial release in your case. This concludes your hearing. Please have a seat. Wait. Good luck to you, sir. Jonathan Gonzalez.
Your Honor, he'll need the interpreter.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez, good morning. How are you?
Señor González, buenos días.
Good morning.
¿Cómo está? Good morning.
Bien.
All right. It looks like you're here on active warrant for a probation violation.
Aparentemente usted está aquí por un caso de incumplimiento de libertad vigilada.
And there's no bond in your case.
Y actualmente en su caso usted no tiene fianza.
This concludes your hearing this morning. Please sit down. Good luck to you, sir.
Esto concluye su audiencia en esta mañana. Por favor, siéntese. Buena suerte.
Angelica Gray.
morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Gray. You're here on an active warrant. You failed to appear for some felony charges, looks like bribery, resisting, battery in a Leo, disorderly intoxication. You're being held no bond now. Please have a seat. This concludes your hearing this morning. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mark Jones. Good morning, Mr. Jones. Is that you?
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. It looks like you're here on a couple of cases. Let's see. First, the failure to appear. So you had an active warrant on case number 17CT3336. And then another failure to appear on 17MM2918. Each one of these cases holds a bond of, the first one, $2,999, and then the second one I addressed, $9,999. Those are your two bonds in your two cases. This concludes your hearing. Please have a seat. Good luck to you, sir. Leanne Lowe.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right, Ms. Lowe. Looks like you have 4 out-of-county warrants, and each count. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's one out-of-county warrant. It's one out-of-county warrant with 4 counts. Okay.
Correct.
The first count has a bond of $5,000. The second count has a bond of $5,000. The third count has a bond of $15,000. And the fourth count has a bond of $15,000. Your total bond in the case is $40,000. This concludes your case this morning. Please have a seat. Good luck to you, ma'am. Hemi Rodriguez. Are you Hemi Rodriguez?
Yes.
All right. Looks like you're
Yes.
here on an out-of-county warrant from Brevard County in case number 2017 MM44345. The bond in your case is $250. This concludes your case this morning. Please have a seat. Good luck to you, sir. Shemaya Selassie.
Your Honor, on Ms. Selassie, I have information that she qualifies for direct PTR.
Okay. All right, Ms. Selassie, you are here on a battery charge. I reviewed your affidavit, find probable cause, set your bond at $500, no contact with the victim. I'll order pretrial release.
500 plus pretrial?
No bond. Not no bond, just pretrial release. Just order the pretrial release, sorry.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Okay, this concludes your hearing.
So just to clarify, your order is pretrial release,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
No contact.
Your Honor, could you also include with the no contact a one-time assist?
Yes, I'll let you go back one time to get your belongings under the supervision of law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you. Bianca Strouser. All right, Ms. Strouser, you're here on a battery charge. I reviewed the affidavit, find probable cause, set your bond at $1,000. No contact with the victim, no return to the scene. If you live there, you can go back one time with supervision from law enforcement to get your belongings. This concludes your hearing. Good luck to you, ma'am. Rashid Irving? Good morning. Is that you, Mr. Irving?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. You're here on an out-of-county warrant from Palm Beach County. Looks like a VOP on an armed robbery, and there is no bond in your case, sir. This concludes your hearing. Good luck to you.
May I know how long my hold is, Your Honor?
I think they're going to transport you Tuesday? Wednesday?
I think it's 72 hours.
72 hours?
Not counting the weekend and the holidays, so.
Okay, so the corrections has 72 hours to transport you to Palm Beach, not counting weekends or holidays, so you can do the math. Do you understand?
Okay, I appreciate you.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
luck. Okay, Sarah Rock.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Rock. You're here on a probation violation active warrant. There's no bond in your case. It's from case 16 CF 1206. This concludes your hearing. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Harry Batista?
Your Honor, Mr. Batista is still in medical and is still detoxing. However, he's asking to waive his appearance.
All right, so I reviewed probable cause, the affidavit yesterday, found probable cause, find probable cause now, and set the bond at $250. Oh, he's out of bond?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm going to revoke his bond on 17 CF 3539, the felony case that he was out on bond on. Brittany Nicole Silverstress.
Your Honor, she is present. I believe that this was a reset by mistake because you addressed her case yesterday. She had 2 FTAs, and I believe she had bonds on those.
What it was, Judge, you set the bond, but it was according to the warrant, it's bond plus PTR, and we didn't address the PTR part of it. If you look at the same bond amount.
Why did she go back? I told her to wait.
See, right here, with the condition, and it said plus PTR. So we only gave the bond, but we didn't address the PTR part of it.
Okay, so she failed to appear already, so I'm not giving her PTR.
Right, the warrant had said a bond amount plus PTR, so I think
How do you do plus PTR? How's a bond? How do you do one or the other?
Pretrial over there. Pretrial is in Osceola because she did. I got an email from Ms.
So, okay, so I'm not. So revoke the pretrial release.
So delete it.
Yeah, delete the pretrial release. Set the bond at $4,000, and if the judge assigned to the case wants, if the public defender wants to motion the judge for a pretrial release again, you can go ahead and do that. Okay? Does that sound all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great.
Your Honor, if I may, I'm Pat Hill with PTR. Just to clarify, many times the judges will give bond in addition to PTR supervision, so there's extra supervision on the individual.
No, thanks. Okay. All right, I think that's all for Osceola, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's all
That's
for
correct, Your Honor.
Osceola. Thanks so much.